Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video I am going to be going over all of the rares that I believe are worth 6-starring, and you may want to be a little bit hesitant about fooding them into other champions. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so now I'm not going to be covering champions that are extremely niche and maybe good in like the magic keep because it steals the shield, but it's useless otherwise. I'm going to be going over champions I feel like are more generally useful and could have some utility for your account. That's going to be the ones I'm focusing on. So I've got a list here of about 26 champions, and I'm going to kind of loosely go from bottom to top in terms of worst to first. The top of the list I feel like I've got pretty accurate, but the bottom of it we're just going to kind of zoom through and touch on them really quickly. So yeah, let's start with number 26. Alright, so 26 and 25 are going to be a couple uncommons. The two most worthy of being 6-star uncommons that I feel, and that's going to be Armiger, who has turn meter manipulation based on defense and enemy max HP as an uncommon, which is very cool. And then also in the Barbarians, Zephyr Sniper, which is down here. And she's got the A1 that is based on defense and places cooldown of a random skill on target as an AoE A1. So a couple of very cool uncommons there that may be worthy of a 6-star. At 24, I've got Executioner. Now, when I first started playing Raid, this guy was crazy strong, but they nerfed him since then. But he was always really cool because of the increased defense and the counterattack that he could place on himself, and the defense aura, and the AoE that decreases turn meter and decreases speed. So Executioner is still on the list, just nowhere near as good as he used to be. 23, Reliquary Tender. Again, not a super amazing champion, but she's a rare with a great base speed and the ability to revive and fill turn meter, and then AoE cleanse and some heals, and then placing decreased attack on the A1. So not godly, but worth a look at and worth investing in for the early to mid game to get some revive mechanic on your account. 22, we're going to go into Bulwark. Now this guy is super known for the passive here that is when attacked has a 30% chance to extend the duration of all debuffs on the attacker for 1 turn. This is most notably used in the clan boss to get those debuffs placed on the clan boss and then get them extended to make them last a little bit more reliably. And he's also got HP burn with damage based on defense and a defense aura. So this guy can definitely bring some utility to your account, especially in the clan boss. 21 is going to be Banshee, and Banshee is never talked about but has an AoE A1 that does defense break, which is extremely good for a rare champion. Also has more AoE that removes buffs, which is pretty insane. And then the A3 is going to block cooldown skills. So Banshee, a very underrated rare with lots of utility. Number 20, I've got Bogwalker, and the most notable thing about Bogwalker is the A1 that places decreased attack, and he's also based on defense, which is great. So he's going to be a great introduction to possibly bring into a clan boss scenario to keep that attack down debuff up on the clan boss and help you survive a little bit longer. At 19, I've got Spirit Host, who is a free-to-play friendly rare that you can get from the campaign and then max out her skills by simply farming that level in the campaign. She's got a speed aura in all battles that's very small, but she's a rare and she's free to get in the campaign, so it's pretty decent in terms of getting an all battle speed aura. She also can buff attack to help you out in the arena and farming dungeons, and she's got AoE cleanse and block debuffs, which can obviously be very impactful. The A1 is kind of worthless. It hits one enemy, does nothing, and heals her for half the damage, which is going to be very weak. So the A1, not very good, but the rest of her kit is pretty solid for being a free-to-play friendly rare. Number 18, I've got Fellhound, who is most famous for being, I believe, the fastest campaign farmer in the game. If you get him in insane gear, this A1 can chew through the campaign, but he is very known for his ability to help you progress in the early to mid game in the Fire Knight by giving you some heals and some reflect damage to chew through that Fire Knight's shield. Number 17, I've got HyperX, and this is a newer rare champion of the game who's only been in the game a few months, I believe, but this guy is kind of underrated by the community in my opinion. The speed aura in the arena, obviously very important, and then he's got an A1 that places poison with an A2 that fills the turn meter of all allies and places an increased speed on them for 2 turns, and he also has a revive. So wow, this guy can be great for helping to revive your glass cannon damage dealers, boost turn meters, and increase speed. He's kind of like a worse version of Apothecary, but can definitely be very good for progressing your account as a new player. Number 16, I've got Judge, who I don't ever really hear talked about either, but he's actually pretty decent for a rare champion. He's got the A1 that increases damage, not a huge deal there because that's not a whole lot of utility. But the A2 is attack all enemies on a multi-hitter, so all enemies 2 times, and fill his turn meter by 10% for each crit. So with this being on a 3-turn cooldown, we can get him to cycle through turns. He's got a base speed of 103 and a passive that is just going to kind of passively place pretty important debuffs on your opponents and decrease accuracy, decrease speed, decrease attack, and decrease defense. So Judge, definitely worth taking a look at for a rare champion. At number 15, I've got Grinner, and I really love this guy as a rare champion because the A1 is going to help increase the attack of all allies, help you chew through some of that content. Then the AoE A2 on a 3-turn cooldown that removes buffs. That's incredible. And then he's also got revive and placing shield on who he revives. So revive is always great in terms of helping you progress, pick up your damage dealers, and keep going. And also a base speed of 110 is insane for a rare champion. So definitely take a look at Grinner. At 14, I've got Renegade, and the most important part of Renegade is this decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. It's not going to stack with multiple renegades or people like a Prince Kaimar, but she's very cool in terms of being an introduction to doing some fun speed run type stuff on your account. At 13, I've got Painkeeper, and similar to Renegade, she's going to be great at decreasing the cooldown of all ally skills by 1 turn. So again, helping you with speed runs, and there's also some unkillable clan boss comps that are based around using Painkeeper to lower the cooldowns and keep that unkillable buff up. She's also got an HP aura and faction crypts and a little bit of heals, so obviously very good in faction wars as well. At number 12, I've got one of the more new rares in the game added in kind of some recent patch content, and that is Coffin Smasher. Now, he's got the A1 that is for decreasing the attack of the clan boss, and the A2 also places an HP burn. His damage is based on HP, and he's got a passive that decreases the damage enemies inflict with AoE attacks. So obviously, this guy is tailor-made to perform well in the early to mid-game of the clan boss, and you will definitely want to build yourself one if you're a new player looking to progress in the clan boss. At number 11, I've got Marked, the A1 that has defense break, the A2 that has accuracy break on a 3-turn AoE, and then she can also block debuffs and the big version of increased defense on all allies for 2 turns, and that's on a 3-turn cooldown. She's also got ally defense and faction crypts, which is great, and a base speed of 100. You can even use her as a block stunner for the clan boss, so much general utility. Marked is a very good rare. At number 10, I've got Soul Bond Bowyer. Lots of general utility and a kit that really synergizes in terms of 25% extra chance of inflicting a critical hit on all 3 of her abilities, and the AoE A1, so she's just a generally useful damage dealer. Number 9 is going to be Seducer, the A1 that places sleep, and all of his stuff is based on defense, which is great. The A2 that is an AoE, decrease attack, and the A3 that increases defense and a block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns. This is not going to be super useful because you're going to have to use Temptress on the same team, but also an ally HP in all battles by 25%. So that whole kit is very good for dungeon progression and also faction wars. At number 8, I've got Frozen Banshee, and she is arguably the best rare in the game against the clan boss. She's even like ultra nightmare endgame viable because she's got poison sensitivity, and she also places poison on her A1, so she is very useful in terms of cranking out deeps and helping your other poisons do more damage in a clan boss scenario. At 7 and 6, I'm going to put a couple of these starting champions in Aethel and also Elaine. Now, they are going to be pretty solid rares in terms of being damage dealers for your accounts. A little fun fact, Aethel used to be insane for the clan boss. She was endgame meta because there didn't used to be a War Master tier 6 mastery. It was like Giant Slayer or bust, and Aethel had a 3-hit A1, and also she placed Weaken, and Weaken used to make your poisons tick for harder, which it does not anymore. So Aethel kind of got the nerf hammer in terms of how amazing she is, but Aethel and Elaine coming in here at 7 and 6 because they're just solid general utility champions in terms of being damage dealers for your account. Now we're getting to the top 5 rares in the game, in my opinion, and these are going to be definitely worth a 6-star on your account and in terms of progressing you and people you should not food unless you have built one already. And War Maiden kicks us off at number 5, the A1 that places poison, the A2 that places increased attack buff on this champion, and an extra hit if critical, which she's a damage dealer, so she's going to be doing a multi-hit there probably, but this is what she's going to be amazing for. The AoE on a 3-turn cooldown with a 100% chance of placing the big version of defense break, a base speed of 97, and a pretty good base attack of 1321. War Maiden is free to play friendly. You can get her from the campaign, and she is one of the best rares in the game to max out for general account progression for new players. Number 4 is going to be Cold Heart. Now, Cold Heart's a little bit more endgame than War Maiden because her Heartseeker really scales well as you get into the endgame when things have higher HP. Like, you get to level 20 of the spider and stuff, and this Heartseeker is hitting for like 2 million damage. So that's why Cold Heart is so good, because she scales into the endgame, and she's also like double S tier. For the Fire Knight, in my 1-minute Fire Knight team, I use Cold Heart. She got a 4-hit A1 that places heal reduction, and her Heartseeker is going to reset the turn meter and hit extremely hard. So Fire Knight being a really tough dungeon, and Cold Heart being very good in it, and she's also amazing in the Spider, which Spider and Fire Knight are 2 very difficult dungeons. That's why you can't have a top 5 without Cold Heart in it. At number 3, I've got KO. He is the only starting champion that places poisons, and he's just very good for new players. You're going to want to pick KO. You're going to want to max him out. You're going to want to get a KO invested in, because he's a great general utility damage dealer for your account into the early game and even pretty deep into the mid game. I used my KO for like 5 or 6 months in basically every team I had as I was kind of starting up in my raid career. So KO at number 3. Now we are getting to the unarguable best 2 rares in the game, in my opinion, at 1 and 2. Bellower at number 2. He's just got so much AoE. He's void, so he's never going to get hit weak. And the AoE on an A1 that blocks cooldown skills is incredible. And then an A2 that is AoE decreased speed. And then an A3 that is AoE decreased attack and decreased defense, with a speed R and faction crypts to boot, and a base speed of 99. You don't really have to gear him as a damage dealer, but he is capable. If you have really good gear, he can be a 6-second campaign farmer. I prefer to go the support route and just use him for his absolute suppression in terms of debuffing the enemies, and then also if you put him in a stun set or something, he's very endgame viable. So Bellower at number 2. And the number 1 rare in the game, who you will definitely not want to sacrifice as food, he is absolutely incredible, is Apothecary. The base speed of 106 is incredible. The A1, that is a 3-hitter, is going to be great in the Fire Knight. The A2, that on a 2-turn can be a crit heal. Very insane for being clutch and keeping someone alive. But he's most notably known for this, which is increased speed of all allies for 2 turns. And fill their turn meters, which is basically an amazing ability anywhere in the game. And then he's also got ally defense in dungeons by 21%. So an absolutely crazy kit here, and he's going to be great in every single area of the game. And if you are a new to mid-game player, Apothecary is definitely one you're going to want to build up as soon as possible. He is even very endgame in a lot of different areas of raid. Alrighty, that's going to do it for my list of all the rares in the game that are worth 6-starring and you should really consider before you food them to rank up something else. I'll pull that up just to wrap up. Honorable mention was a couple uncommons that are very good in Zephyr Sniper and Armiger, and then Executioner, Reliquary Tender, Bulwark, Banshee, Bogwalker, Spirit Host, Fellhound, Haruspex, Judge, Grinner, Renegade, Painkeeper, Coffin Smasher, Marked, Soulbound Bowyer, Seducer, Frozen Banshee, Aethel, Elaine, and then the top 5 most amazing rares that you will definitely want to build were War Maiden, Coldheart, Kale, Bellower, and Apothecary. So let me know down in the comments which ones I missed that you think should have been in here, or maybe ones that I had in here that you totally don't think should be in here and they're just food. Definitely let me know. I always enjoy your input, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.